Who are you?
I am Juice World.
He was more than just a rapper. He was the voice of an entire generation. A teenager who turned his heartbreak, depression, and addictions into music that millions of kids around the world clung to like therapy. He wasn't afraid to be vulnerable. He wasn't afraid to say what so many were feeling, but couldn't put into words. But the same demons he gave to his fans in music were the ones that tore him apart behind closed doors. This is the story of Jared Anthony Higgins, better known to the world as Juice WRLD. From fame to death. Jared was born on December 2nd, 1998, in Chicago, Illinois. His father left when he was just 3 years old, leaving his mother to raise him and his older brother alone. She worked long hours to provide for her sons, and she was strict, deeply religious, and protective. In her home, secular music, especially rap, was banned. Instead, she surrounded him with gospel. But Jared was curious. The world outside was filled with hip-hop, and Chicago in the early 2000s was exploding with a new wave of rap stars. Even though his mother tried to shield him, Jared found music anyway. In school, he heard Chief Keef, Kanye West, Kid Cudi, and Lil Wayne. These sounds shaped him. He started teaching himself instruments, piano, guitar, and drums. He picked things up quickly. He played at church. He practiced through video games like Guitar Hero. But most importantly, he wrote pages and pages of rhymes and thoughts. In high school, Jared began experimenting with recording his own songs. Using just an iPhone and free software, he uploaded tracks to SoundCloud under the name Juice the Kid, inspired by Tupac's movie Juice. He said the name represented energy, ambition, and youth. He dreamed of taking over the world, even if nobody took him seriously yet. At first, his songs barely got noticed, but slowly, something started to happen. Listeners were struck by his vulnerability. His voice was melodic. His lyrics were raw. In a rap scene dominated by flexing, money, and violence, Juice's music was about heartbreak, depression, and drug abuse. He wasn't trying to look tough. He was just being honest. And for kids struggling with the same issues, that honesty meant everything. By 2017, he dropped the name Juice the Kid and reinvented himself as Juice WRLD, with WRLD symbolizing his plan to take over the world. That year, he uploaded a song called Lucid Dreams to SoundCloud. It used a sample from Sting's Shape of My Heart. The beat was haunting, and Juice's lyrics about betrayal and heartbreak made it unforgettable. Slowly at first, and then all at once, the song exploded. By the summer of 2018, Lucid Dreams had peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Juice was just 19 years old, and his life had changed forever. He signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Interscope Records. Overnight, he went from a regular teenager in Chicago to one of the biggest new stars in music. His debut album, Goodbye and Good Riddance, dropped that same year. It featured All Girls Are the Same and Lean With Me. Both became hits, and suddenly, Juice WRLD wasn't just a SoundCloud sensation. He was a global star. Fans connected with him because he was real. His lyrics didn't glorify a perfect lifestyle. They exposed the darkness. He sang about drugs not just as fun, but as coping mechanisms for pain and anxiety. He admitted openly in interviews that he started drinking lean in 6th grade. He confessed that he was addicted to Percocets and Xanax. In an era where rappers bragged about excess, Juice admitted the toll it was taking on him. And that vulnerability resonated. Teenagers and young adults around the world felt seen in his songs. His music became an outlet for kids battling depression, heartbreak, and substance abuse. He gave them words when they couldn't find their own. But behind the music, things were getting darker. Juice WRLD's rise was meteoric. In 2019, he released his second album, Death Race for Love. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard charts. He toured the world, performing at Rolling Loud, Lollapalooza, and Coachella. He collaborated with Future on Wrld on Drugs and worked with Travis Scott, Lil Uzi Vert, and Ski Mask the Slump God. He was celebrated as a prodigy. His freestyles proved it. Videos showed him rapping for hours without stopping, creating entire songs off the top of his head. He didn't just write music, he lived it, he breathed it. But the lifestyle came with heavy costs. Fame brought pressure, pressure brought more drugs. His girlfriend, Ali Lottie, was constantly by his side. Their love was passionate and chaotic, often playing out publicly on social media. For Juice, Ali was his anchor and his chaos. Together, they leaned into a lifestyle of late nights, constant parties, and heavy drug use. Friends noticed his dependence getting worse. He was rarely sober. He admitted in songs and interviews that he was scared of his addictions, but didn't know how to stop. On stage, his charisma was electric, but behind the scenes, he was collapsing under the weight of his demons. One of the most chilling moments came in his tribute song Legends, dedicated to Lil Peep and XXXTentacion. Juice rapped, "What's the 27 Club? We ain't making it past 21." At the time, it sounded like an observation, but less than 2 years later, those words would feel like a prophecy. December 8th, 2019. Juice WRLD boarded a private jet in Los Angeles, headed back to Chicago. He had just turned 21 days earlier. On board were his team, his girlfriend, and a large amount of marijuana, codeine syrup, and several firearms. The plane was loaded down, and unknown to Juice, federal agents had already been tipped off. As the jet landed at Midway Airport, law enforcement waited on the runway. Witnesses say Juice began to panic. He swallowed multiple Percocet pills, reportedly to hide them from police. Minutes later, he collapsed. His body convulsed in seizures as the plane was searched. Paramedics rushed to his side, administering Narcan in an attempt to revive him. He was rushed to Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn. But less than an hour later, the world received the news. Juice WRLD was dead, just 21 years old. The official cause of death was an accidental overdose of oxycodone and codeine. The news stunned the world. Fans flooded social media. Hashtags of his name trended globally. His peers in music, Drake, Chance the Rapper, Lil Nas X, and the Kid Laroi, all paid tribute. For millions of fans, it felt like losing a friend. But even in death, Juice WRLD's voice did not fade. His posthumous album, Legends Never Die, debuted at #1, selling nearly 500,000 units in its first week. It became one of the most streamed albums in history. Songs like Wishing Well and Come and Go reminded fans of the talent they lost too soon. In 2021, another project, Fighting Demons, was released. Together, his posthumous work solidified his place as one of the most influential artists of his era. Juice WRLD's influence continues to ripple through hip-hop. He inspired the Kid Laroi, Polo G, and a wave of artists who mix rap, rock, and emo into something new. His lyrics continue to trend on TikTok. His freestyles are studied on YouTube. His legacy lives in every teenager who said his music got them through depression, heartbreak, or loneliness. But his story is also a cautionary tale. He was rich, famous, and talented beyond measure. But none of that could save him from addiction. His honesty about his struggles made him relatable, but it also showed the pain he lived with every day. Fame magnified his demons instead of healing them. Juice once said, He didn't want to be remembered as an idol. He wanted to be remembered as a voice. And in the end, that's exactly what he became. From a strict household in Chicago, to a SoundCloud bedroom rapper, to one of the most streamed artists on the planet, Juice WRLD's rise was fast. His fame was massive, and his death was tragic. He gave his generation a soundtrack, but he didn't live to see it fully unfold. He was only 21, and yet his music will echo for decades. This was the story of Juice WRLD, from fame to death.